Hi, what is up? Welcome back. I'm Sam. If you're new, hi. Thank you so much for being here. Today, I'm going to show you guys some of my favorite Hoya. But first, we need a little disclaimer because I have been struggling. So I finally got a new mic because the muff was ripped off of my old one and it was just time, right? And I got this little wireless one from Amazon. But the thing is, I'm having some trouble with it connecting and disconnecting, connecting and disconnecting. And I don't know when it does that if I'm not looking at this little green light. So I don't know what it is. There's an issue with like the charging port on my phone, and the little adapter goes into the charging port and it just keeps like losing connection. And so the audio is like in and out, and it's really terrible for YouTube videos. So I guess I'm gonna have to try again with maybe a Bluetooth microphone. I bought this one thinking it was actually Bluetooth, but it's not. So we're gonna see how this goes. If it's terrible, then I guess I'll scrap it. But yeah, I'm gonna show you guys some of my favorite Hoya from my collection, like my personal Hoyas. There's definitely some out there that I really, really love and would love to own that I don't own. So obviously those are not included. If this sounds like your jam, stick around, hang tight. Let's jump right into it. Okay. In the mic gods we trust. The first one is definitely this little furry cutie. This is Hoya caudata sumatra. Oh my gosh, this is just such a unique plant. Like, it's such a unique Hoya. It has so many different things going on, okay? So I've actually wanted this plant. This one's really special to me because I wanted it for years, but it was very expensive, like $100 a cutting. Crazy. You guys already know there was a Hoya craze where Hoyas were just outrageously priced. Thank God the prices dropped, not just on Hoyas, but on houseplants in general. This Hoya, it is very strange. The leaves are literally kind of like cardboard, but they're very just, I don't even know a word to explain it. They're very thick. I don't know, but they also had this rigid rim around the leaves, which is really cool. I don't think this is the Caudata Sumatra silver, but it does have silver on it. It didn't say silver, at least whenever I purchased it. It does have some really nice silver splotching on the foliage. And also, you guys, I don't know if it's going to come across on camera, but the leaves are kind of hairy, like they're kind of fuzzy. They feel pretty cool, especially the new leaves. This is a favorite, obviously, because of the way that it looks, and I just think it's really unique. Also, immediately after I got it, it didn't take any time at all to acclimate, and it just started growing like crazy and shooting off all of these new tendrils with new baby leaves coming in everywhere. I love it. You can also sun stress. Pretty much all Hoya you can sun stress and get those really nice orange, red, pink leaves. Yeah, and the leaves on this one come in pretty dark, like a dark, deep purpley, I would say. And there's just so many new leaves on this guy right now. I've really been enjoying watching this one grow. I think it's super duper cool. And you can see he's wrapping his tendrils around the basket that he's in. I think that's pretty cool. This is my Hoya Bella, which we would have seen in my last video. Oh my gosh, I love this plant. Like, what is there not to love about it? I feel like the leaves are just so different from your typical Hoya. The foliage is really tiny and dainty and cute. It's this weird little like arrow shape almost. I love the shape of them. I just think they're so, the leaves are just so precious. Again, another really vigorous, fast grower, really easy care, constantly putting out new little vines with new leaves. And you guys, it looks like we might be getting a little peduncle right here. I'm not 100% sure that's what it is, but it does appear that that could be what we're seeing, which is really exciting. This plant's never bloomed for me. So, and believe it or not, I have had this quite a while, but I actually rotted the roots on it at one point, and I had to reroot a couple cuttings that I was able to save from the plant, and this is what we have now. So I like this one a lot too because you don't really have to cut it back and propagate to encourage new growth. Obviously the side of the plot's completely bare, so that doesn't really help with my point. I had to take a little break, but we're back. I just really hope my mic is working correctly. This will be the last time I use this one if there's any issues. As I was saying, I would definitely consider this to be like a beginner Hoya, a beginner plant in general. It's just So easygoing, all around a great plant, and I think it's so cute. There's just something about the way the Hoya Bella trails and all of these crazy funky vines come out, just kind of shooting about everywhere. It's really difficult to get the whole plant in frame, but this is Hoya fungi or fungii. This is another one, you guys, that I wanted for years, and they were so dang expensive. It's like any Hoya that has any type of cool features, venation, texture, like anything unique about it. The prices were just insane. I had to wait several years before I finally was able to own this plant, and I'm so glad that I did because, you guys, I'll tell you right now, there was several plants that I bought over the years, like back when the Hoyas were just outrageous for little 2-leaf cuttings, and I don't do well with juvenile Hoya or like starter Hoyas cuttings. I really don't do the best with those. I mean, I could keep them alive, but that's about it. It's really hard for me to make like a fully established plant out of little cuttings when it comes to Hoya. So I was able to get this like full size. It was like a 4-inch pot, I think. Hoya fungii is earlier this year, and I love it. I got it for really cheap too, for like a full plant. And it makes me wonder, like, why was this plant ever that expensive? Because it's such a fast growing Hoya and it's so easy. You'll notice a lot of my favorite Hoyas are going to be the ones that are vigorous growers and easy care. I've just been blown away. Like, I could share this 100 times if I wanted to and still have plenty of plant because it's constantly shooting off new vines and new leaves. So obviously this plant is incredible because it has this beautiful veination going on the leaves. Like, we love a good veiny Hoya. And the leaves can get quite large as well. I mean, this one just constantly has multiple new leaves growing in at all times. Yeah, just another really beautiful, easy, fast growing Hoya that I'm kind of obsessed with. So this, I've had him for a few years, and this is actually one of my first Hoyas I think that I ever purchased. And this is Opie, my Hoya obovata. Perfect, absolutely perfect. This planter, so cute, right? I have never really understood why this Hoya is so underrated or why it's not more popular than it is. I mean, I'm thankful that it's been inexpensive and that it is an inexpensive, like, accessible Hoya. Don't get me wrong, but I feel like this is one that's just kind of always been considered like more of a common Hoya, kind of like the Carnosa varieties. Like, it's such a unique Hoya. I mean, it has perfect circle leaves. They're perfectly round. Obviously, he is very splashy. What I've noticed about this plant, aside from the fact that it's just like very easygoing and chill, like it definitely takes care of itself. I don't have to do a lot for this plant. But he kind of goes through like bouts of growth. So he'll go through periods where he's growing really well, putting off multiple new leaves for a month or two, and then he'll kind of, I don't want to say dormant because I don't really think that's the appropriate term, but he'll kind of just chill, not really putting any effort into growing and just, looks beautiful, not putting off any new leaves. And it doesn't mean there's anything wrong with the plant. So I guess out of the ones I'm showing you, most of them are going to be like more fast growers. This one is definitely a slower grower, but it's worth the wait because whenever it does grow, it gives you like, a few new leaves and you get to admire them and gush over them. And then it just kind of stays how it is for a while. It has everything that I feel like a lot of Hoya lovers or collectors look for in Hoyas. The large leaves, like the leaves can get really, really big on the obovata, and they're just like so chunky and circular. They're so splashy. It's just really, really a beautiful plant. And I don't see it talked about nearly as much as I think it should be. Another really great beginner Hoya. This is a great option. They're pretty accessible and pretty affordable. Again, one of my first ever Hoya. This is Hoya pubicalyx Splash. Oh my gosh, is this plant splashy? Like, look, I definitely am going to put some B-roll up close of some of the leaves on this plant because it's incredible. So this is a newer leaf right here. This is a newer leaf right here, right here. You can kind of tell the newest leaves by how dark they are in comparison to the rest of the foliage. But I mean, look at the splash on. This is one of my favorite leaves right here and has been forever. Like, look at that. These ones as well, just like, wow. Hoya pubicalyx splash is beautiful. What can I say? As Hoya lovers, we can all really appreciate a nice splashy Hoya, and this one definitely, it gives that. And this was so inexpensive too. Like, they're still inexpensive. There's different varieties, different types of Hoya pubicalyx these days, and they're all relatively cheap. So it's pretty nice. You can get like a decent sized plant of this for not bad price. This is just one that I've had for years. That's been really, really easy, really fuss free, just kind of does its thing. I don't have to worry about it. I just really appreciate everything about it, really. So the next one, this is going to be a no ID Hoya, actually, because, okay, this one is special to me for one, because it is from a friend of mine. So she was sent this from, I believe it was Aroid Market, and I think it was labeled as a Hoya calistophylla. I'm pretty sure that's what it was labeled as. I don't think it's a calistophylla. That's another one that's been on my wish list for a very long time that I've never owned. I don't know. I don't know if it's a calistophylla. I don't know, but it doesn't look like one to me. Regardless, it's insanely gorgeous, right? Anyways, my girlfriend, she sent me a package. She had some different stuff in it, and one of the things was a cutting of this plant. So there might have been two cuttings, actually. I think one of them is right here. Yeah, there's two cuttings. And this is one leaf, and then this one was two leaves. So they weren't rooted. I, obviously, you can see, have them in sphagnum moss. I think she sent them to me over the summer, possibly. Anyways, this is exciting, okay? Not only is this a favorite because it was sent to me by someone near and dear to my heart, it's just like everything that I would want in a Hoya. So look how large these leaves are, you guys. It has the size, it has the veins. Like, look at those veins. Are you kidding me? It's so striking. And it also has some splashing. Like, what? These veins are pretty intense. But you guys, I noticed a couple weeks ago, and I sent her a video. I was so excited. A vine, because there was no vines. It was just like nodes, you know, a couple leaves and a node. There was a vine coming up out off of, it looks like this cutting here. And now, as of this week, I noticed when I checked in on it, there is a new leaf coming in. So this is my first growth point and new leaf coming in on this little cutting, and I am overjoyed because, like I said at the beginning of the video, I don't always do super well with cuttings of Hoyas. You know, a lot of the times they just kind of remain stagnant and don't really do anything until I sell them, give them away, or they die. So it's very exciting to me that it's turning into an official plant now. Like, once you see that tendril coming up like that with a new leaf, you know it's starting to progress into an actual plant and not just a cutting. I'm also pretty stoked that both cuttings have survived. I haven't lost any leaves on either of them. If y'all have an ID for this Hoya, please let me know. Leave it in the comments. I'm sure others would appreciate it as well, because I don't think it's calistophylla. Is it calistophylla? Someone let us know. How cute is that? It's precious. So my next favorite Hoya actually took me by surprise because I've had the Hoya Kaale for years. That was another one of my first Hoyas. Like the Abovata, the Pubicalyx, the Carnosa varieties, and the green Kaale was like my first initial introduction into Hoyas, basically. But I had two Kaale. I started out with two. It was like a deal, 2 for 1 or something. I ended up gifting one, and then I didn't really like the second one that I had either, so I took a cutting for myself, which I do still have right here in a mixed pot with a philodendron Florida. I need to get it potted up because it's still in moss and it's been years since I took this cutting. Point being, I'm not a huge fan of Hoya Kaale, but there's always been something about the variegated Kaale that I really, really was drawn to. Every time I would see it, it's like, I really want that plant. But then I would look at my green Kaale and I'm like, but I don't love the Kaale that much, so why do I want this one? Because I really want a variegated Obovata as well. I've never had one of those. There's also like the reverse variegated. There's a couple different varieties of the variegated Kaale. My husband actually brought this home to me when he would work like in different states, like neighboring states. There's a lot of really cool, nice plant shops outside of West Virginia, believe it or not. So he would stop here and there and pick me up a plant or two. This was one of them. This one definitely has done so much better than my green varieties ever did. They're pretty slow growers, and they would like put off new leaves, like this little one right here, and then drop them like over and over and over. Like the leaves would just never reach their potential. They would just drop off and die. It was pretty sad. But this one has been growing honestly pretty well. Look at this little tiny leaf right here. This is a brand new leaf. It's just recently put off. For some reason, it's not that variegated, but it might change as it matures. And then there's another one coming in right there beside of it. Looks like it's shooting off a couple new leaves down here at the base as well. Yeah, those are new leaves, I swear. I think I see some webbing on those as well. Ooh. I just think the little hearts are so cute. They're just so cute, and it's something about the yellow variegation, the yellow rimming of the leaf alongside the way that it grows and the heart shape that I really like. I find it really beautiful and really cute. This is Hoya Chelsea. Look at her. So my girlfriend actually had sent me a cutting. She has like a big giant Hoya Chelsea a couple of years ago in like one of our first trades, I'm pretty sure, and I do still have that, but it's struggled quite a bit. It's grown a bit, quite a bit, but it's also struggled quite a bit. We rarely ever find Hoya in my big box stores where I live. So it's kind of like one of those things. If ever I find big baskets of them, I'm going to pick them up and bring them home because it's just such a rare thing. It's such an uncommon thing for me to find. So I had never in my life seen Hoya Chelsea in big box stores before. Obviously, I picked the nicest one and brought it home. I will say they were all pretty severely overwatered. They were all very, very, very heavy, and they had some yellowing going on near the base of the pot. So that was a little bit of a concern. I got the one that had the least amount of yellowing. That looked the best. Hung it directly under my big Mars Hydro in the kitchen so that it could dry out, and it seriously took like maybe over 2 weeks for this plant to dry out even like a little bit. It was crazy. So I was a little concerned that it might rot, but I wasn't too concerned because I knew if I started seeing more signs of root rot that I could just take a bunch of cuttings and I would still have like a really full, beautiful Hoya Chelsea. I finally got it dried out. I have been pretty infatuated with this since I brought it home. It's gorgeous. Like I said, will forever keep the Chelsea that my girlfriend sent me, but it's nice to have this really full basket. Chelsea has little cute round leaves, and then they have these little dimples. Like, are you kidding me? Chubby leaves with dimples. You gotta love it. You gotta love it. It's my Hoya Chelsea. All right, you guys, I could definitely include a few more. I mean, I have more Hoya that I'm really loving right now, but I have a bad habit of wanting to include like all of my plant collection in my videos, especially my favorite videos. But I think that's gonna do it. Please leave me a comment below. Let me know what your favorite Hoya in your collection is, if you have Hoya. And if you don't, you can let me know which Hoya from my collection that I shared with you today is your favorite. So I need to wrap it up. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you again really soon in my next video. Love you guys. Goodbye.